So for me, the most important thing is why should we do yoga? What is the function of yoga? I think this is a fundamental starting point for everybody. People do come to yoga without a reason. There will always be people who do things without a reason. But the ones who actually stay and make progress in yoga are those who have a real clear reason. So that's why I make sure my students have come to yoga for the right reason. What is the actual reason to do yoga? Typically, a human being learns in this way. When they're young and they're kids, they do something and then they kind of pick it up. Some lessons they pick it up, this gives this result, and it gets stored, and like this they've stored millions of lessons by the time they turn into an adult. And now when a situation comes in life, their brain is so well equipped, it calculates stuff and it tells them according to the senses what kind of action has to be taken. Is calculated by the brain with all the connection between the cortices, the visual cortex, the motor cortex, parietal lobe. So it goes to the thalamus, and then it goes to the parietal lobe, the information. From there it's spread out to the appropriate cortex for action. If it's something which you need to use reason, it goes to the prefrontal cortex. And those are the only things that we are conscious about. But what's happened, people have wired themselves to react to a present situation with knowledge of the past, in cutting out completely sensory information. They completely cut out sensory information. They're just using past knowledge to deal with stuff. Luckily, it works to a certain percentage, right? Some 50 to 80% of it works. There is 20% of their life where it's not working, and they ignore that. They say it's okay. But that becomes the cause of great grief. And one of the things that they are ignoring is the fact that they will grow old and die. Even old people ignore this. They ignore the fact that they are old and they're going to die. They don't pay attention to this. Okay, and the body is constantly giving you information all the time about what you should do to maintain it, to keep it in a good health. And the day you die will be the day that the body has no more information to give you and it passes out. So I have read also in some tantric texts that the karma is stored in the body. And my teacher was very insistent about this. Babaji always said that karma is in the body. Agama karma. Now what does that mean? It's not a mystical thing. It's two Sanskrit words. It means immediate action. Agama is immediate. Karma is action. That's it. The meaning of karma is action. But people have attached to it some law of karma, which they think is a law. Do good and good things will come back. People who have studied Christianity and Hinduism, comparative religion, they say Jesus also said this: as you sow, so shall you reap. That's not what karma is. There's no guarantee that you'll reap what you sow. It has to be supported by the environment, and in fact that is very inaccurate to say that. It's not accurate by any chances. He of course meant it in a particular context. A lot of religious texts are taken out of context, and they make the writer look stupid actually, or they try to make the writer look intelligent when what he's written is actually stupid. Both of this happen all the time. People take a part of a text. No one wants to read the whole thing. They're just okay with that one part. I know very few people have read the whole Bible, the whole Bhagavad Gita, the whole Puranas, the whole Vedas, the whole Upanishads. Nobody reads. They read 2 lines from the Upanishads and they make it into a mantra, and they're very happy with that. Now this is of course a problem. But coming back, so I'm just explaining to you why the law of karma is so misunderstood. Like, first of all, it's not a law. It's a phenomenon that happens. and it has not yet been postulated as a law. You can, but that's not really how it's presented to you in our scriptures. So, what is agama karma? Immediate action to be taken. That's it. It says, at least Babaji said, that the agama karma is stored inside the body. In every part of the body, not just one part. Every part of the body stores it. And he said it's always stored below the skin, not on the skin. This is the distinction between what we want and what we need. It says what you need is calculated by your senses and presented to you as sensations below the skin. By concentrating on these sensations, you will connect those sensations to your thalamus, which connects to your parietal lobe, and then it becomes into a thought. And that thought is sent to the prefrontal cortex, and that's when you get awareness of it. So if you are only getting visuals, it's connected to the visual cortex, because every memory is stored visually inside your body. And even that, we're not sure exactly where, but somewhere in the brain, visuals are stored as memories. And there are several mentions of this. Yes, Yama's assistant is known as Chitragupta. Everybody knows, he's very famous. So, Chitragupta just means hidden pictures. It seems when you go in one of the Puranas, I think it's a Garuda Purana, I'm not sure. When you die, you want to get that?